The evening light stretched across Horizon Colony's northern agricultural plains, casting long shadows over rows of carefully cultivated crops. J. Park walked between the greenhouse sections, his hands brushing against delicate sensor panels that monitored moisture and nutrient levels. A sudden streak of burning metallic light cut through the twilight sky. At first, Jay thought it was another meteor fragment common in this region. But this object moved differently, wobbling and spinning with clear signs of mechanical failure. The research vessel crashed into his greenhouse with a thunderous impact. Solar panels exploded like fragile glass, hydroponics equipment scattered across the ground, and a cloud of steam and electrical sparks filled the air. Jay instinctively dropped to the ground, protecting his face from flying debris. When the noise settled, an eerie silence descended. Smoke drifted across the damaged greenhouse, creating ghostly patterns around the crashed vessel. Jay's heart raced as he approached the wreckage, unsure what he might find. The ship's hull was scorched and torn, with strange metallic alloys unlike any human technology. A section of the hull had split open, revealing a complex interior filled with blinking lights and unfamiliar instruments. And there, amid the wreckage, lay a figure. Her body was unlike anything Jay had ever seen. Skin that seemed to shift between silver and blue, with intricate patterns that looked almost like living circuitry. She was clearly injured, with multiple lacerations and signs of significant trauma. Jay's medical training from his colony's emergency response program kicked in. He moved carefully, checking her vital signs. Her breathing was irregular, but she was alive. Her physiology was completely alien, multiple heart-like organs, respiratory systems that seemed to work differently from human lungs. As he examined her, her eyes flickered open. They were large, with multiple pupils that adjusted to light in a complex, mesmerizing pattern. She looked at Jay with an intensity that suggested both pain and curiosity. "Do not move me," she whispered in perfect, though slightly distorted, English. Jay nodded, understanding that improper movement could cause more damage. He quickly activated his communication device, calling for medical support. But he knew help would take time. The colony's medical center was hours away, and this was no ordinary patient. The alien woman's hand moved slightly, revealing a small device. It projected a holographic map showing a complex star system far from human-controlled space. Jay recognized it was some kind of mission log or navigation record. "My name is Yuna," she said weakly. "Research vessel, compromised." Jay noticed her translation device was damaged but still functioning. It seemed to convert her native communication, which appeared to involve complex electromagnetic signals, into understandable human language. Outside, the Horizon Colony's landscape remained unchanged. Wind moved through crop fields, and distant machinery hummed. But inside the destroyed greenhouse, two beings from completely different worlds were about to change everything. Jay knew he couldn't move her without risking her life. The greenhouse, with its controlled environment and medical equipment, would have to serve as a temporary medical station. He began applying basic first aid, using sterilization protocols and emergency medical supplies. Yuna watched him, her multiple pupils dilating and contracting in a rhythm that suggested both pain and fascination. She was studying him as much as he was studying her. "You are not afraid," she said, more as an observation than a question. Jay smiled slightly. "Fear doesn't help in emergencies. Understanding does." As night fell over Horizon Colony, the crashed vessel continued to steam and crackle. Inside the greenhouse, an alien researcher and a human agricultural worker began an unexpected journey of survival, discovery, and connection. Neither of them knew it yet, but this moment would alter the course of human-alien interactions forever. The next morning, Jay carefully monitored Yuna's condition. Her alien physiology was healing faster than any human would, with strange metallic patches growing over her wounds, seamlessly integrating with her skin. Yuna's translation device worked intermittently, producing broken fragments of communication. Sometimes it produced perfect English, other times a jumble of sounds that felt more like electrical interference than language. "My mission," she attempted to explain, ecosystem research across multiple star systems. Jay noticed her communication involved more than just words. Her skin would subtly change colors, creating complex patterns that seemed to carry additional meaning. When she mentioned her research team, a deep blue wave moved across her arms, suggesting profound sadness. Using the greenhouse's scientific equipment, Jay began creating visual communication boards. He drew simple diagrams showing a ship, a planet, basic scientific symbols. Yuna watched intently, her multiple pupils tracking each movement with remarkable precision. Her own method of communication was fascinatingly complex. She would sometimes emit low-frequency vibrations that made nearby equipment hum. These vibrations, Jay realized, carried intricate data packets like living information waves. "Your planet," Yuna said, pointing outside the greenhouse, different from research records. Jay understood she had studied Earth and human colonies, but experiencing them directly was entirely different. Her research databanks contained clinical information, but they couldn't capture the living complexity of actual human environments. The greenhouse itself became their communication center. Jay used plant growth charts, ecological diagrams, and agricultural mapping tools to help explain human survival strategies. Yuna would respond by projecting holographic representations of her own scientific observations. Their communication was a delicate dance of misunderstandings and sudden breakthroughs. A simple gesture from Jay might trigger a complex response from Yuna that required minutes of technological translation. "Your agricultural systems," Yuna said, her voice becoming clearer, "show remarkable adaptive potential." She was studying the greenhouse's automated systems, how sensors detected moisture, how artificial intelligence managed nutrient distribution, how complex environmental controls maintained optimal growing conditions. Jay realized she wasn't just making conversation. She was conducting research, even while recovering from her crash. Every interaction was a data point, every conversation a potential scientific discovery. By afternoon, Yuna could move slightly. Her healing process involved what seemed like voluntary cellular reconstruction. Patches of her skin would momentarily become transparent, revealing internal structures that looked more like advanced machinery than biological tissue. "My previous research team," she explained, with that now familiar wave of blue across her skin, "lost during expedition near Orion Cluster." The sadness in her communication was palpable. Jay understood loss. Many colony settlers had similar stories of missions gone wrong, of colleagues and friends vanished in the vast darkness between stars. Their communication continued throughout the day. Sometimes through words, sometimes through diagrams, sometimes through the subtle language of color and vibration that Yuna seemed to naturally speak. As evening approached, Jay realized something profound was happening. This wasn't just a medical rescue or a first contact scenario. This was a genuine exchange of knowledge, a bridge between two completely different forms of intelligent life. Yuna's multiple pupils focused on Jay. For a moment, communication transcended technology. It was a look of pure, mutual curiosity. "We understand each other," she said, her translation device finally producing a perfectly clear sentence. Jay smiled. "Not completely. But we're trying." Outside, the Horizon Colony's crops continued growing, unaware that inside this damaged greenhouse, two beings from different worlds were slowly, carefully learning to communicate. The electrical storm arrived without warning. Dark clouds gathered rapidly over Horizon Colony, creating a menacing landscape of potential destruction. Massive electromagnetic waves began to build, threatening to destroy months of agricultural work. Jay watched the sensors with growing concern. These storms could completely wipe out crop systems, leaving the entire colony at risk of starvation. Traditional protection mechanisms would not be enough. Yuna's skin began to pulse with complex patterns, her multiple pupils scanning the incoming weather system. "Your environmental protection systems are insufficient," she said matter-of-factly. Together they worked quickly. Yuna's alien technology merged with Jay's agricultural knowledge. She could read electromagnetic patterns in ways human technology could never achieve. Her body itself seemed to absorb and redistribute electrical energy. "We will create a living shield," Yuna explained, her hands moving over the greenhouse control panels. Her method involved creating a dynamic protective field that could adapt in real time. Unlike static human protection systems, this would be responsive, almost intelligent. Organic sensors would predict electrical surges milliseconds before they happened. Jay watched in amazement as she integrated her own biological systems with the colony's technological infrastructure. Holographic projections showed potential protection scenarios, each more complex than traditional human approaches. The first wave of electrical disruption hit. Most colony sectors experienced immediate system failures. But their modified greenhouse remained stable, its protective field shimmering like a living membrane. Crops that would have died remained protected. Sensitive agricultural equipment continued functioning. What seemed impossible was happening through their collaborative approach. Colony leadership began receiving reports of the unexpected survival. An alien researcher and a local agricultural engineer had somehow created a revolutionary protection system. As the storm continued, Yuna explained her research. Her previous team had studied planetary survival mechanisms across multiple star systems. This was more than just a scientific exercise. It was about understanding how different life forms could adapt and survive. Jay realized they were doing more than protecting crops. They were demonstrating a new model of interspecies cooperation. Their communication had evolved. Sometimes they spoke, sometimes Yuna's skin would display complex color patterns that carried intricate meaning. Sometimes they would just exchange knowing looks that transcended verbal communication. The storm raged for hours. But inside their modified greenhouse, a quiet revolution was happening. Two completely different beings were showing that survival wasn't about individual strength, but collaborative adaptation. As electromagnetic waves crashed outside, Jay and Yuna continued adjusting their protective systems. Each adjustment was a small victory against potential planetary destruction. "Your species has remarkable potential," Yuna said, her translation device producing a clear, almost admiring tone. Jay smiled. What had started as a desperate rescue was becoming something much larger, a testament to the power of unexpected collaboration. When the storm finally passed, the greenhouse stood intact. Surrounding agricultural sectors showed significant damage, but their modified zone remained perfectly preserved. Colony leadership would soon discover that everything had changed. A crashed alien vessel, an unexpected partnership, and a revolutionary survival strategy had just rewritten their understanding of protection and adaptation. The crops continued growing, silent witnesses to an extraordinary moment of interspecies cooperation. The first warning came through deep space communication arrays. Distant sensor systems detected multiple large spacecraft approaching Horizon Colony's outer orbital range. These were not human vessels. Yuna's skin immediately changed color, a deep metallic gray that signaled extreme alert. "My original research fleet," she whispered, her multiple pupils contracting. Jay understood immediately. This was not a diplomatic mission. The approaching ships carried aggressive technological signatures that suggested a retrieval operation, potentially destructive. Colony defense systems began powering up. Traditional human technology would be completely outmatched by the incoming alien vessels. Their weapons systems looked centuries more advanced, capable of obliterating entire planetary zones with single energy discharges. "They will not negotiate," Yuna explained. "Retrieval protocols mean complete elimination of potential contamination zones." Contamination, in this context, meant Yuna herself. Her unauthorized contact with humans represented a significant breach of her species' strict research protocols. Jay realized they needed an unconventional strategy. Human military strength would be useless against such advanced technology. They needed something unexpected. Using the greenhouse's complex systems, Yuna began mapping the incoming vessel's technological frequencies. Her ability to read electromagnetic patterns became their primary defense mechanism. "We can use their own technology against them," she said, her skin displaying intricate circuit-like patterns. Their plan was audacious. Instead of direct confrontation, they would create technological interference that would make the alien vessel systems increasingly unstable. Small, precise disruptions that would cause cascading failures. Colony leadership initially hesitated. But with limited options, they agreed to the experimental approach. As the alien vessels entered orbital range, Jay and Una worked together. Her biological systems could generate precise frequency disruptions, while his agricultural control systems would amplify and distribute these signals. The first alien vessel suddenly experienced mysterious system failures. Navigation computers began producing conflicting data. Weapon systems started randomly powering up and shutting down. What humans lacked in technological advancement, they compensated with creativity and adaptability. Una's alien knowledge combined with Jay's practical engineering created a defense nobody could have predicted. One by one, the alien vessels became increasingly confused. Their perfect technological systems were being undermined by something they couldn't comprehend: a hybrid human-alien interference system. The colony watched in amazement. What seemed like certain destruction was transforming into an unexpected victory. Una's explanation was simple: they understand technology. They do not understand collaboration. Her words carried profound meaning. The alien fleet operated on rigid, predictable protocols. They couldn't adapt quickly. Humans, with their chaotic and creative approach, could transform challenges into opportunities. After hours of technological warfare, the alien vessels began retreating. They had encountered something completely outside their computational models, a defense mechanism that didn't follow any known strategic pattern. Colony celebration erupted. But Jay and Una understood this was more than a military victory. This was a demonstration of a new kind of problem solving. As dust settled and communication arrays cleared, something fundamental had changed. Humans had shown they could defend themselves against technologically superior forces through creativity, collaboration, and unexpected approaches. Una looked at Jay, her skin displaying a complex pattern of respect and understanding. They had done more than defend a colony. They had potentially changed interstellar relationships forever. The greenhouse, their original point of unexpected meeting, stood as a silent witness to this extraordinary moment of human-alien cooperation. Outside, Horizon Colony's crops continued growing, unaware of the extraordinary battle that had just been fought to protect them. The days following the alien fleet's retreat brought unprecedented changes to Horizon Colony. News of their unique defense strategy spread across human-controlled star systems, transforming what seemed like a local incident into a landmark moment of interspecies interaction. Una made a surprising decision. Instead of requesting retrieval or returning to her original research fleet, she chose to remain with humans. Her reasons were complex but simple: the potential for collaborative research was too significant to ignore. Colony leadership established a special research program. Una would become the first permanent alien researcher integrated into human scientific infrastructure. Her knowledge combined with human adaptability promised breakthrough discoveries in multiple scientific domains. Their greenhouse collaboration became a symbol of something larger. What started as an unexpected crash landing had evolved into a model of cross-species understanding and cooperation. Diplomatic channels between Una's original research civilization and human colonies began opening. Her detailed reports about human potential challenged many existing alien perspectives about humanity's technological and adaptive capabilities. Jay became her primary collaboration partner. Together, they developed research protocols that merged alien technological understanding with human practical engineering. Their work focused on planetary ecosystem management, agricultural sustainability, and adaptive technological systems. The research exchange program quickly expanded. Other alien research teams became interested in studying human adaptive capabilities. Humanity was no longer seen as a primitive species, but as a potentially revolutionary collaborative partner. Una's multiple pupils would often scan agricultural systems, finding new ways to optimize growth and survival. Her biological systems could detect environmental changes at microscopic levels, providing insights impossible through traditional human technological approaches. Horizon Colony transformed. What was once a standard agricultural settlement became a global center for interspecies research and collaboration. Scientists, researchers, and diplomatic representatives from multiple star systems began arriving. Their original greenhouse, the site of their first meeting, was preserved as a historical landmark. It symbolized how unexpected connections could generate profound transformative possibilities. The colony's agricultural systems became a living laboratory. Crops grew using hybrid technologies that merged alien biological understanding with human engineering. Sustainable farming techniques developed through their collaboration promised solutions for challenging planetary environments. UNA's integration wasn't without challenges. Cultural differences, communication barriers, and complex diplomatic negotiations continued. But each challenge became an opportunity for deeper understanding. Jay understood they had done more than defend a colony or develop new research techniques. They had opened a door to a broader understanding of intelligence, collaboration, and survival. As twin moons rose over Horizon Colony, Jay and Una would often stand together, watching distant star systems. Their partnership represented something revolutionary, a bridge between different forms of intelligent life. The research they conducted promised to reshape human understanding of ecological management, technological adaptation, and interspecies cooperation. What seemed impossible just months earlier was now becoming a new standard of scientific exploration. Colony children would learn about their story, how an unexpected crash landing, a damaged greenhouse, and two individuals from completely different worlds had changed everything. Una's skin would sometimes display complex color patterns during these moments. A language of emotion and understanding that transcended traditional communication methods. "We are just beginning," she would say, her translation device producing a tone of quiet excitement. Jay would smile, understanding that their collaboration was more than a scientific achievement. It was a testament to the power of curiosity, adaptability, and mutual respect. The stars continued their ancient dance overhead, silent witnesses to a new chapter of interstellar understanding that had begun in a simple greenhouse on the edges of human-controlled space. Horizon Colony stood as living proof that the most profound discoveries often emerge from the most unexpected encounters.